It is 9:30 a.m. on a Sunday morning in Paris. The Louvre, the most famous museum on Earth, has been open for exactly 30 minutes. The first wave of tourists is already filtering in through the glass pyramid, heading straight for the icons, the Mona Lisa, the Venus de Milo. They are completely unaware that on the other side of this vast palace, a multi-million-euro heist is already in motion. Along the Quai François Mitterrand, the busy road that runs parallel to the River Seine, a white truck pulls to a stop. It's a monte-meuble, a furniture removal truck, the kind you see every day in the city, equipped with an extending ladder and a cherry picker basket. It looks perfectly normal. So do the four men with it. They're all wearing bright yellow hi-vis vests, the universal uniform of a maintenance or construction crew. They place a few orange cones on the pavement, and to any casual observer, it's just another crew starting a Sunday repair job. But this truck was stolen 9 days earlier, and this crew is a highly organized team of thieves. 2 men stay on the ground, acting as lookouts. The other 2, now masked, climb into the cherry picker. The arm of the lift whirs to life and begins to rise. They don't go to the roof. They are aiming for a very specific spot, a first-floor balcony. This isn't just any balcony. It belongs to the Galerie d'Apollon, the Apollo Gallery. It is one of the most opulent rooms in the entire museum, a masterpiece of gold and paint that actually predates the Hall of Mirrors at Versailles. More importantly, it serves as the public vault for the surviving French crown jewels. And here is the first devastating flaw in the museum's security. The Louvre's director would later call it a terrible failure. While the museum's interior is a fortress of alarms and cameras, this specific, high-value balcony was a complete blind spot. The security cameras covering the exterior walls were not pointed at this spot. The thieves knew it. They had scouted the location. This wasn't a lucky guess. It was a well-researched plan. The basket lift docks perfectly at the balcony. The men step out. They smash the unsecured window, and at 9:34 a.m., the first internal alarm finally trips. But the thieves are already inside. The clock is now ticking. They ignore the priceless paintings and sculptures that surround them. They are here for one thing only. They run to 2 specific display cases and pull out high-powered disc cutters. The scream of the angle grinders echoes through the 17th century hall. The display cases are made of reinforced, bullet-resistant glass. But the thieves don't try to shatter the entire pane. They use the grinders to cut small, crude holes, just big enough to reach an arm through. Then, they begin pulling out the treasures. An emerald and diamond necklace Napoleon gave to his second wife, a diadem set with over 200 pearls and nearly 2,000 diamonds, a sapphire set that belonged to 19th century queens. One by one, 8 priceless pieces of French history are ripped from their displays. The total time they spent inside the gallery, 3 minutes and 58 seconds. The 2 men scramble back into the basket, which quickly lowers them to the street. The entire operation, from the truck pulling up to the men being back on the ground, has taken less than 8 minutes. The thieves jump onto the back of motorbikes driven by their accomplices. They attempt to set the truck's lift on fire to destroy the evidence, but a security guard, alerted by the noise, runs over and manages to prevent it. The 4 men speed off and vanish into the Paris traffic. An 88 million euro heist, executed in broad daylight, seemingly to perfection. It was one of the most audacious and successful robberies in modern history. Inside the Louvre, it's chaos. Alarms, triggered 4 minutes too late, are blaring through the palace. Security teams converge on the Apollo Gallery, sealing the exits, but they are locking down an empty crime scene. The thieves are already gone. When the BRB, France's elite anti-gang brigade, arrives, they aren't just looking at a smashed window and 2 empty display cases. They are looking at a treasure trove of evidence. The thieves, in their incredible speed, had been incredibly sloppy. Their first and most critical mistake was failing to burn the truck. The furniture lift they had used is now the single most important piece of evidence. The cabin, the controls, the basket, all of it is a goldmine for forensics. Alongside the truck, they left their high-powered disc cutters, and nearby, a dropped motorcycle helmet. The robbers had left a clear and undeniable DNA trail. While investigators combed the scene, collecting over 150 samples, the Louvre's leadership faced a storm of global humiliation. This wasn't some sophisticated high-tech hack. It was a brute force attack that exposed a shockingly simple flaw. The museum's director, Laurence Descartes, was called before French senators and forced to admit to a terrible failure. It was revealed that the museum had a complete blind spot. The security cameras covering the vast exterior walls were simply not pointing at that specific balcony. The thieves knew it. The Louvre had spent millions reinforcing the gallery glass to stop bullets and internal attacks, but they never anticipated a full frontal assault from the outside. The police, however, were working fast. The race was on to find the jewels before they were lost forever. The breakthrough came from the abandoned helmet. A DNA sample pulled from the lining was run through the national database. It got a match. The suspect, a man in his 30s, was already known to police for organized robbery. He and his crew were put under immediate, intense surveillance. The net tightened. Just 6 days after the heist, on Saturday, October 25th, the police made their move. They arrested the first suspect. The second was apprehended hours later, not at a hideout, but at Charles de Gaulle Airport. He was at the gate, just moments from boarding a flight and disappearing. The arrests were a huge victory for the police, but they came too late for the treasures. The 8 stolen items, including that emerald and diamond necklace Napoleon gave to his wife Marie-Louise, were not just valuable. They were priceless pieces of French history. And here lies the true tragedy of this heist. These jewels are too famous. They are so well documented that they are literally unsellable. There is no secret billionaire collector who could ever display them. The grim reality, as confirmed by all experts, is that the thieves never intended to sell them whole. Within hours of the robbery, the crime was likely already complete. The historic gold settings, which were themselves works of art, were almost certainly melted down into anonymous bars. The priceless Napoleonic emeralds and royal sapphires were broken out of their settings, destined to be recut, disguised, and sold off one by one, their royal provenance erased, lost forever to the global gem trade. The thieves stole 88 million euros in jewels. But what they destroyed was a piece of history that can never, ever be recovered. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this story as fascinating as I did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into incredible heists and historical mysteries. See you in the next one.